Hey everybody, how's it going? We did NA tier list yesterday and you guys definitely had your opinions, which is always fun. That's why we do these. I'm excited to reflect on these after the split is over. But before we get into reflection and an entire split ahead of us, we got to talk about Europe as well. We got an EU tier list for you guys all today. It's going to be inaccurate. It's not going to be true or facts, but we're going to try. We're going to try to do our best. Again, as a reiteration, we are going to talk about the roster changes that occurred with this team, where the teams came from, their originations, all that kind of stuff. And then origins, let's just go with that word. And then we're also going to talk about where we think they're going to place during this split. Again, I'm always up for being proven wrong. I'm always up for having some memory and having some fun, but we'll see how this one goes. Either way, let's jump into the tier list. We're going to go through these from bottom to top and see how things go. And I'm excited to see your guys' thoughts and opinions as well. Always let me know in the comments down below. If you guys have a different like top 8, hit me with it. You guys are already doing that in my recent roster videos, so appreciate the interaction. First, we're going to start with Luna Galaxy, a team that actually ended up surprising a lot of people. This Portuguese team, a lot of people were wondering what was going to happen with a Chronic, former of Team Liquid. And it looks like both him and his coach, Expere, are going to be playing on Luna Galaxy. This was not announced. This has not come out. This was one that we sniped from the sign-up page. They've got RFR, a Chronic, and Expere. Expere's playing, I'm pretty sure. So this team, gatekeeper at best. I don't know. I think they've got some talent between a Chronic and Expere. Chronic's not bad, clearly. Expere, also not bad. Like, Expere's actually got some skill. I'm excited to see how this one goes. But if they make main event, I'll be surprised. I think he's just got too much talent in it for them to make main event, but we'll see how it goes. Should be fun. Shout out to those boys. I love those boys to death. We'll see how it goes, though. Up next, we got Solary. Solary is sticking with KDOP. I don't know why KDOP doesn't just sign as a content creator at this point. He'd make so much money, all those Adidas deals and everything he's doing. I really hope Solary's paying KDOP the bag, because that boy's content continues to crush. They're joining with Shawzette 45 OG. Obviously, you guys know Shawzette from all the previous teams that he's been on in iterations. We thought these guys were potentially going to go coach. And then we got Rise Fox. This team is gatekeeper. I don't foresee them making a top 16. There's just too much talent in EU. I think they'll have fun. You know, previously it was what? KDOP, Shawzette, and Fairy Peak before Fairy Peak decided to call it quits, and now he's coaching Vitality. It's going to be similar situations. They might be competitive. They may play upset here and there, but in a double elimination with everything on the line, I actually think that favors them. But is it still going to be enough to have them push in against like a top Cougars or whatever? Probably not. So we'll see how it goes. Up next, we got Tea Time with a cute little logo. This is going to be the new Hogan mode. This is Hogan mode 2.0. You've got Scrub Killa, Hibbs from SA, and then Gom from Guild Esports. Actually, some decent talent on this roster. But are they going to make top 16? This, I could see a team that actually upsets some people. Like, talent-wise, they're not bad. Talent-wise, they're not bad. We're gonna put them at the tail end of top 16 for now. We'll see if that changes. I'll come back to that one. Up next, we got Redemption. I secretly actually love this team. First and foremost, they've got Big Boy Fruity as their coach, coming over from the sub roster. You've got Cash of Moist, Ivan from PSG Tundra, and Astral from Moist. And we haven't seen Astral since he was playing on Moist in the major, where they took second place. This team has a ton of talent. So much talent, but mentality wise, are they going to be able to get through things? This team wears their heart on their sleeve. When things are going good, they're vibing. This team on LAN, oh my god, I would love it. If this team was on LAN, expect upsets left, right, center, but they got to get there. Online, I think, gosh, oh, that's tough. This team has so much potential. It's a really talented team. We're going to put them 16 for now. We might bump them to 8 if we're feeling saucy. We'll see how it goes. Up next, we're going to go with Caliente. This is Sizen, who used to be on that Team Vitality roster before Zen came in. You've got Growly, who is on Hogan mode, and Dying from Patankos. Caliente was a team that I'm surprised ended up happening because of what ended up happening. Dying, we saw play a lot with the former G1 roster, and I thought he was going to join like Dorito and Atomic and maybe make something happen there, but they went a completely different route. I think Dying's been getting a lot of attention and ranked and stuff too. Growly, I think, has proven himself and done some some good things over the seasons. And Sai has proven that he can be on a world-class team. They were what, top 6 at Winter Major at one point. So a lot of potential. This team, I think, we haven't seen enough of. I also wish that a lot of these teams had more logos rather than just no text default icons. Caliente, I could see one of these. Redemption, I want to put here though for potential, but we'll be patient for now. We'll keep it here. Up next, we got Endpoint. This is the former Monkeys roster, former Misfits roster. If you guys don't know, same 3 iteration. You've got Matane, Smokes, and Arju with Andy the Mandy as coach. That's not changing at all. Arju went and played somebody else for a little bit and then came back. So they do get picked up by Endpoint. I like this team a lot, but I don't think they will make top 8. I think they are more likely to be a 1-3-2-3 team. I like them a lot. I think Smokes and Matana as a duo have proven they've got a lot of potential, but they just get outclassed by some of the top dogs, and I'm not surprised by that. But I would love to see these guys be successful. Endpoint is picking up a team, I think, on a good budget and getting rewarded for it. Up next, we got Gross Noobs, Carrion, MTZR, Econ, and Finish. Carrion and MTZR, I think, are sticking together, and Finish has been in that iteration as well before he transitions to coach. This is a team that I would see probably on the tail end. I'm probably going to put them high end of Gatekeeper. I think they could play some upset here and there, but realistically, I don't see them punching in. And if they do, they're probably going to be an 0-3 team in Swiss, if I had to guess. We've got Team 3, which is a very interesting combination of players. People were wondering what was going to happen with Mark by 8. Mark by 8, obviously, at the BDS roster, was part of that current iteration that was like, hey, this is a world-class team. Got kicked to the curb, sat on the bench for G1 for a while after he got booted. Mark's been through some things. He's ex-G1. You've got Rizix then and Catalysm coming together. This team in particular, I don't know how to feel about, because the talent is there, but is it outdated talent? To me, they're probably a top 16. Maybe they play upset, but I don't ever see them pushing past into top 4. I say a low top 8, a high top 16. Like, these are the matches where I'm like, hopefully these guys go against each other and we can see this different tier create. Where, like, when we get our top 16, hey, we have a clear, like, the teams that are going to go 1-3-2-3 versus the teams that are going to be 1-3-0-3. I think they will be competitive. Like, they're a team that when I go into them in like an open qualifier bracket, I'm like, shoot, we got to take this. We got to lock in, but it's winnable. We should be favored in this if we're one of the better teams. That's kind of how I view their roster right now. Maybe they upset. Up next, we've got Magnifico. This team actually showed some promise. If you guys don't remember Magnifico, Atomic coming over from G1. You've got Stizzy from Monaco and Tox from PSG Tundra, with Teraz from Monaco as their coach. Magnifico showed a lot of promise actually in the flip and spin qualifiers. They didn't quite get there just yet. There is a lot of talent on that team, but are they going to punch through? Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got 9 teams left. To me, I have them more on the top end, middle end of top 16. Like Redemption, I think would, like, if I see these two teams go together, I could honestly see Redemption winning, which is why it's really tough for me to put them above for now. I like that Magnifico team. I really do. I think Atomic's a great kid. I got to work alongside him for a little bit. I think they've got a lot of potential. I think they're somewhere in here. Oh, that's tough. Well, I'm going to give him a little bit of bias. We'll give him a little bit of bias for now. Up next, we've got Williams Resolve, which is partnering with GridServe, which is like a vehicle company or something. Apparently you can rent vehicles from them. I think they actually got lucky on this one. This team was supposed to be a rebuild around Noasaki, and it's Noasaki Tadpole as their coach still, and they were supposed to go with some lesser players, from what I heard behind the scenes. They ended up getting Raziers and Lewis P. Lewis P, if you guys don't remember, has the wagon wheels. His wheels look like he's going to fall off every time he plays in Rocket League. And then they have Raziers, who really proved himself at Gamers 8, not last year, but the year before. Very talented player. He tried out for Monkeys for a little bit, and that's where he was previously. Talent-wise, this team's got something I think that they could work with. Will it be successful? Resolve has always been like, hey, we've got potential. We can make top 8. And then they screw up. Those players are now gone. Noah's the only original. I think Noah's probably got the most potential out of all of them. Where are they going to end up, though? I could see them peaking top 8, but more likely going to be in the top 16 Swiss round consistently. Somewhere, I don't know where to rank these guys left or right. We didn't do it for NA. We're not going to do it for you. I think the players have potential for top 8, but I think that's as far as they get. I would expect this Resolve team to be in the 2-2. I expect this team to be like a 2-2 roster fighting for top 8. That's where I have them for now. If we don't have enough in these, we'll maybe bump them up. We'll probably do it for now. I think Resolve definitely got an upgrade. Top Cougars. This one is interesting. Acro was actually in here yesterday when we were trashing their name. Not doing themselves any favors. When your name is Top Cougars, guys, most organizations will look at that and be like, maybe we don't want to work with those people because that's our first impression. Not a good idea, everybody. This is Relating Wave. Relating Wave was on the bench from Quadrant and is now starting. You've got Toxic from 2.5 Men and then Acro from Guild Esports. They also are bringing in Gregan. As you guys know, Gregan, obviously, he was originally coaching for Darkfire at one point and then has kind of been consulting for teams. Hasn't really been on a dedicated team in a bit. So all English team should be a lot of fun. I think Top Cougars also showed a lot of potential. They, surprisingly enough, to me, are going to be that middle of the pack team. I think they could play upset. Oh, Darkfire is a player. Why did I have Darkfire? Dark Zero is the name of the team. What's so wrong with that name? It's just not ideal. I could see them being a middle of the pack team. I could see them. I don't know if they're going to consistently make top 8, but I think they'll be a gatekeeper for sure in that regard. I think they're going to be a tough team to get through. Good team, I think, to warm up against. Good team for scrims early. Can they punch top 8 consistently, though? I look at some of these other teams and I go, I don't think so. So, yeah, we'll put them top 8 for now. I think they'll be in that good in between. Up next, we got Mike Boy, though, and Techos. Ooh. I think this could be an upset team. Mike Boy, though, is sticking together. Techos is coming over from SK, and they've actually got Eclipse, who was that former Endpoint coach. Some LAN experience. I think SUH is going to be that team that you've got to get through in order to... I'm going to put them as the top 16 for now. I think SUH is, yeah, upset merchants is a good way to put them. I think if you beat SUH, you've got a very good chance of making top 16 a Swiss. They're going to be a team that gatekeeps really hard there. And then you do not want them as a... Like, if you're in a 1-2 round, you don't want SUH. That's how I feel actually about a lot of these teams. A 1-2 round against some of these teams, it just sounds like trouble. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. And I feel that strongly about that. I can agree with that so far. I actually like this so far. Up next, we got Gentlemates Alpine. We've got a new organization coming in with Gentlemates, French roster organization with former Halo pros and content creators and stuff. Gotaga's massive. A lot of those. You've also got Alpine, which is a F1 team. Pretty cool collaboration, actually. Big fan of this. They're taking Seiko from BDS, Juicy from Moist, and Itachi, who I think was one of the best free agents available from KCorp. They're also bringing in Eversax, their coach from KCorp. Gentlemates, I actually like a lot. I think this team's got a lot of potential. I think Itachi Seiko as a combination is one that should obviously be respected. And I don't think we've seen the best out of Juicy yet. I think Juicy definitely played back foot to Joyo on Moist. But Juicy as an individual, I think has a lot more potential than people want to give him credit for. I think you can put Gentlemates in a contention spot. I think they should consistently make top 8. When I put people in top 4, understand that you are putting them from one tier up and down. So I think they should consistently be making top 8. There shouldn't be any questions about that. Are they going to win their quarterfinals? I would like to say more likely than not, but it depends on who their matchup is. You know, if they're going against some of these guys, maybe not the case. I think you can say that same thing for Oxygen. Oxygen is always going to be a team that I have concerns about. Ever since Archie came into the scene, Archie is very, very talented. But is he grinding? Is he putting in hours? That's what I want to know. EXO, we've seen when EXO's on his day, they're incredible. To me, that's a lot of the pivot point, is if EXO is going to be the dominant force. Those are your two cores of Oxygen. That's not changing. The new addition, though, is Oski coming over from Team Liquid. I really like Oski. I think Oski's a great player. I think, again, Atao was kind of the best on that iteration of that team. But I don't think Oski is a slouch by any means. They just won their tournament. They played one tournament in NA that they host called the Oxygen Holiday Invitational, and they won the whole thing. I think Oxygen's got a lot of potential. I think they are good for sure, but I'm very interested to see on how Oxygen plays out for the remainder of the season. This team has a lot of upside if they stay consistent, if they grind, if they're motivated. Snasky is a coach. Love Snasky. Good friend. I think Oxygen's got some potential to play some upset, but expect this team to be fighting for a major. They are without a doubt in the 5 to 8 range, guaranteed. Can push higher than that. So I'm very interested to see how Oxygen ends up doing. Up next, we've got 4 teams. The next one is the one I'm most curious about, is going to be Moist Esports. The rebuild around Joyo is being paired with Oli, who's coming over from G1. A little bit of history with Oli. He was with that G1 roster that all spoke Spanish. He spent a lot of time at Worlds in Germany, actually hanging out with the Oxygen, or not the Oxygen team, the Moist team that shared a practice room next to ours. I think he gets along with the guys. I think Oli also has a lot of potential, but it's the confidence in him that I want to see. I want him to understand that he can go for things. He can be aggressive. He can play solo, and you're pairing that also with Rezi, who's part of that crazy run with Hogan Mode. So Hogan Mode, Rezi, Noah's staying as their coach. You got Oli coming over from G1. I think Joyo still is an underrated player. I think Joyo doesn't people don't understand how good Joyo actually is. He can completely change the team's outlook. I think this team has a lot of talent. Does it have the right pieces, though? To me, out of all these new rebuilds, I think Moist got the short end of the stick, if I'm being honest. I think if you have Moist in the top 8 and you're going up against a Gentlemates, an Oxygen, a BDS, a Vitality, a KCorp, I think that's the best out of those 8 that you want. I think Moist actually downgraded. Or stayed the same. Maybe not a downgrade, but maybe stayed the same. I think losing Juicy is tough. Cash and Joyo relationship, I don't think was healthy. But I think this team's got a lot of upside. I think Joyo and Oli together is going to be incredible. And I think with Rezi, there's a lot of potential as well. Yeah, I think there's somewhere in here. I'm trying to... I've got to put more people in this tier. And it's going to be tough for me. I think these two are maybe interchangeable. Oh, man, that's... EU is always hard, man. Up next, we got BDS. BDS, I think, initially is actually going to be not as good as they can be. I think BDS is actually going to be lesser performing to start. End of season, you can see the upswing. I think overall with BDS right now, Monkey Moon obviously is Monkey Moon. Very, very talented. They're rebuilding around him. Drawley in particular, we haven't seen enough of. I think Drawley is actually a really good pairing with Monkey Moon. Expect Drawley to be their first in rotation. Super aggressive, ball hawk, trying to create opportunities while Monkey Moon supports that with positioning. And then you've got Exotic to back it up. Exotic coming over from KCorp, Drawley, Rookie, and Monkey Moon. I think BDS obviously is in the top 4 conversation. I think they should be in quarterfinals every single time, top 8. I think they are going to take some time to develop, though. I think initially BDS is going to be a little bit of a slow start, but as they get reps, they're going to look better and better and better. But I think BDS has a lot of potential. I like the build. I think Drawley is a perfect fit for Monkey Moon. But it will take some time. The other cool thing about them is they're also bringing in Casio as their coach, who used to be on Quadrant with Relating Wave. Up next, our top 2, I think, is pretty straightforward. This is what the all offseason has been. You've got Vitality, your former world champs, not making a change. I don't know if that's going to come back to bite them. I think, again, if it's not broke, why fix it? Again, you've still got your world champions in Alpha 54, Zen, and Radosin. The difference is Farah is leaving. They now have Fairy Peak as coach. This team still has everything you want on a team. Unselfish play, good aggression. But they have proven in offseason tournaments that they can be beaten. And beaten by a team that didn't even have their full starting roster. The team that I think is the #1 team, not just in Europe, but in the world, on paper and otherwise, is KCorp. I think Carmen Corp has everything you could ever want. Not only do you have Vatira, who is arguably one of the best players in the world, you're pairing that with Rise, who I think is one of the best support and setup players in the world. To me, Rise, and I've said this so many times during the offseason, if you are drafting a team from scratch, Rise is my #1 draft pick every time. He's got the intangibles, he's got the mechanics, he's got the understanding. His communication in game is incredible. He will keep you honest. He will make adjustments mid-series. He will never make sure that you are counted out of a series. He will always make sure that you are able to compete. I think it's so good. The pairing of Vatira's hunger and Rise's level-headedness is a great pairing because Rise is going to be critical. He's going to hold Vatira. He's going to keep him level-headed. They're going to excel each other, and that's part of the reason why Moist was so good. A Tau versus comparison of Joyo is a horse apiece, whatever you want to say. But I will say a Tau was the best player on that Team Liquid roster. He's a difference maker. He can 1v3. He has great situational awareness. He is a person that when you are in trouble and you've got Vatira and Rise committing on offense, if a Tau is your third person in rotation, he's going to hit a double flip reset off the backboard and clear the whole field. And that's more than enough time to set up your teammates. I think a Tau is a fantastic piece of this puzzle. I like KCorp on paper. I like what they can prove. This is a really good team. They only have themselves to beat. KCorp is the best team in the world, in my opinion, right now. And we don't even have any results to show for it. So I'm very excited to watch KCorp, and they're pairing it with a world-class coach in Farah, who I love and adore. So Farah's leaving Vitality. They're bringing him over to KCorp, and he's building a superstar squad. He talked about how, hey, I want a world championship. I want to continue to challenge myself. I actually think it got even easier for him. You took the guy who built a world championship team, and now after spending a year with them, has all the tools of like, this is what I instilled in them. This is how we beat it. So yeah, KCorp looks really scary. As for teams, I think you can make some adjustments between some of these. I think the difficulty though is that if we're going to do this, do I expect Moist to be more... I think Moist is more consistently going to be in a top 8 conversation than they are going to be in a top 16. So I think it's fair to possibly put them in here. These aren't as balanced as much, but I think it just goes to show the level of competition in EU is very close. It's very competitive. I think we can maybe bump some of these up potentially and adjust. But again, it's a horse apiece. Pretty crazy stuff. Again, I think there's adjustments that can be made. This offseason has provided a lot of crazy rosters, and double elimination is cutthroat. You're going to see some upsets 100%. So that's what we've got. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about these. Let me know in the comments down below as always. But we will talk about the notable teams and their roster changes coming up for APAC, Mina, Sam, so on and so forth. So with that said, if you guys enjoy the content, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.